I've worked crazy amount of hours this weekend. I think like almost 30, and I've been putting in like 14 to 16-hour days Monday and Tuesday. So today, being Wednesday, it feels like Thursday. But here's what I've been building. It's pretty badass. Check it out. I already showed you my project management board, everything that's going on task-wise. You can go back and check that video out. Here's my actions. And here's probably the coolest part of Ops AI. So I can see what's going on across the board. So I can see my messages received, our average response time. I have 54 tasks completed. I have 101 AI actions just for my testing group. And then here's my testing groups that we're running. I can see client activity, what's going on, messages, average response time, how many tasks, when's the last activity. I can see my team members that I have in here testing. I can see my clients. Basically, this gives me what's going on in our test group. Here's my clients, active client information, messages in, client messages out, average response time, etc. I can see content curation that's being generated on the digital marketing side. And then of course I can see my AI usage. So all of the AI that we're doing for Lizzie, I've only spent $43 this last month. And this is multiple AIs across the board. Why is that substantial? Well, if you're in the C-suite, you know exactly why. I have ROI based on my client, my performance, my activities, everything that's going on, my cost of business. Now I can actually articulate from an operational standpoint. And not only do I know it, Lizzie knows it. That's the most important piece, Lizzie AI. But wait, there's more. This here, Clark, is my social media management. So here's my test groups. This is a calendar grid, which is, not unfamiliar to anybody in digital marketing. Here's my posts that are going to go out, my images, captions, hashtags. So again, nothing spectacular there. Pretty normal. Here's where it gets great. I can generate a grid for an entire week. So I can start the 20th, which I have nothing posted for. I want 5 posts. I can generate this. We'll let it run. Now I can see my weekly grid posts. That's awesome. I can go to individual posts. I can edit. There's no images here, but I don't want to do it individually. I want to edit the grid. So let's go edit this entire week. Here's my captions. Here's the network it's going to. So this is LinkedIn. I can rewrite it here. I can say I want it shorter, casual. I want it more professional, or I can add a hook, or I can just adapt it for LinkedIn. What this does, y'all, is this goes out to LinkedIn and to my profile, and it does an analysis of what's going to perform on LinkedIn. So now that that's done, I can generate my image caption. So if you've done digital marketing, this is substantially awesome, because that's one of the hardest things if you're using AI to generate, whether it's Canva, Nana Banana, or GPT, whatever. So now we'll generate the image. Notice my other posts already have captions, so that's great. So let's just boom, 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 boom. And we'll just assume all of our captions and our briefs are correct. Now my image generations are starting to come in. Let's go edit this. So that's cool. That's a cool image. I love it. That's great. But let's, we can regenerate here if we want to. But let's just say, let's add Santa Claus. So we'll click apply. This will regenerate. Now Acme's brand info is already stored. I'll show you where all of that is here in a second. There's Santa Claus looking at a dashboard. That's awesome. Let's use it. Boom. There's my image. So we can go look at these next ones. These are all pretty amazing. Scaling fast. So these all look great. So here's the cool part. Like what we had with Lizzie AI, we have Sally Roberta, which is kind of funny here in my companies. Sally Roberta has always been a just name we use on our manager before we had things like Meta Business Manager and LinkedIn accounts, so we could share accounts. So now Sally Roberta is an actual entity. It's a digital entity. So I'll do this. I want to send this for review. So I'm just going to click here, confirm and send. And in our client portal, this is kitchen portal. This is my Acme. Here's my conversation where we talk to our clients. If you're a client, you already know what this is. This is pretty amazing. In a couple seconds, I'm going to get a notification that basically says from Sally Roberta, hey, Brad, Sally Roberta, your content grid is ready. So boom, let's click it. Here's my grid. No more Google Docs. I've automated this entire process. So here's my grid. I can read it. I can approve it. I can approve it. I can approve it, approve it. I can approve it, approve it. And then this one, I can add revisions. Change the image and submit feedback. Boom, we're done there. Inside our kitchen portal, we'll get notification that in this conversation that we received this. And then inside Ops AI, what's going to happen here is I'm going to get an action. So in my inbox, I got, here's my notification that, hey, we have feedback change. And if I scroll over, here's my client revision, change the image. Okay, doesn't like the image. Let's write another caption. Let's regenerate. Why is that cool? Well, I've automated most of the time it takes to do the image generation automation. One of the things I could do on the customer side, which Lizzie can do also, is to just query the client. Hey, what don't you like about the image? What do you want to see? Because I wasn't really explicit in that. Most clients they tell us exactly what they want because we've trained them to do that. Yeah, so I don't really need to explain the benefit here, right? So some of the features here, we've automated, a lot of this process. I can do things like change the card. I can add list view. I can sort by social media. I can go back into my calendar. So pretty neat, pretty neat. Here's where the gravy is. So I can connect to my social media accounts, obviously. I can set up custom posting schedules. I want daily, weekly, bi-weekly. I can query out to each individual network to see what is our best posting times. I can auto send these grids without manual trigger. I can skip specific dates, and then I can have a Google Drive folder where we might share assets. So here, these are the times that it's said to use. Here, I can generate my brand voice. So if you go back to my other video and I talked about our brain, here's my Acme brain, and here's all the different lobes of the brain that's generated from instantaneously from briefs we've uploaded from meetings and or conversations that we have with our client. This updates every 15 seconds, really. So I can pull this in from the brain if I want to, but here's my tone, audience, position targets, any sort of pillars, etc. Or I can override these based on the network. And then same thing with image generation. So I can populate from the brain. I can create composition notes and negative prompts. Here's my approval process. Here's the client it goes to from the kitchen. Now, not everybody uses Kitchen. I recommend you do for your business, but whatever, you might use Salesforce, whatever, HubSpot. Here's a kids conversation. So here's the awesome sauce right here, revision handling. So I have Sally set to autonomous messaging, which means Sally takes care of the messaging for me. I don't have to do that. If I set it to assisted, Sally would send us the message. I would copy and paste that over to the client, massage it however I want to. And then I can assign it to my various AI agent that I want to. Here's notification settings, and then here's watermark settings. So here's the watermark settings where I can say, hey, I want this to be on the bottom left, bottom right, whatever. If you're a digital marketer, social media marketer, social media manager, content manager, you get this. If you are a CMO, you get this, why this is so huge. There's lots of platforms out there. We use Heyorka, we use Sendable, we use a lot of different platforms. Ops AI is a centralized AI. So we're bringing all of the data from all of our clients, all the information in real time into a model for the client. That model also does cool things like go out and see gap opportunities based off or competitive landscape opportunities based off of what's happening in real time in Google search and LLMs. Right? You see where I'm going with this? But that's not even the best part. I'll make another video for this just so these aren't so long, but here's our visibility. And this is the brains behind your competitive landscape and then what you can do about it. We'll get into this later. Ops AI is being created for all businesses. We're MMG, Monsters Media Group, a marketing agency, obviously, and we're utilizing it for marketing. I've already showed you how I've recreated Lizzie to replace my C-suite. That's a project manager, director of operations. Now we have digital marketing on the social media side and the SEO and LLM side, content curation side. Next video. My name is Brad Neufeld. I'm a multi-award winning digital marketer and application developer. I've been doing this a long time. AI is exciting, but it's also scary. If you're not hedged for the shift in the curve that's coming, good luck. I'll give it to the end of this year. Most of these jobs will be gone. It's inevitable, so you might as well hedge and figure out how to use it and be the smartest guy in your boardroom. Are you going to be the company that's like, dang, what happened? Or are you going to take advantage of the opportunity? It's here.